Hey everybody, good Friday afternoon, TGIF to you. It's about 4:48. I got a question for you. In fact, you can see the question right there in the title box, in the video title box, I should say. And the question is, as it says right there, is retro television coming back? In other words, as you see in the description box, are all the television shows that we grew up with in the 80s and the 90s making a comeback on television? Well, apparently it seems to be the case. Now, we all remember back, I don't know when it was, early and mid-90s, when Cartoon Network introduced the sister network Boomerang. Now, we were all happy about Boomerang coming around because it was a background, basically a safe haven, if you will, for a lot of us to see some of the classic shows that we grew up on from the 70s, 80s, and even the 90s. Well, mostly the 70s, 80s, 60s, and 50s, which we were more focused on. But as time has gone on, we have noticed that Boomerang has become more about the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, if not more so 80s, 90s, and lately sometimes just 90s. And even this past decade as well. So, is there a chance that people in charge of the networks, over-the-air networks, the digital cable networks, is there a chance that a lot of these people are starting to notice that many of us, adults and kids alike, want that classic old school retro viewing that we used to have back in the day? And I'm not just talking about animation, I'm talking about live action. Is there a chance that's coming? Is there a chance that people are listening? I mean, again, another safe haven that we got back in 1998 was Toon Disney. When Disney Channel decided to launch its Toon Disney Channel, it was a safe haven for a lot of the shows we grew up with in the 80s and the 90s from Disney. Shows like, a lot of shows, like the new Archies that we hadn't seen in a while. Cowboys of Moo Mesa. There was all the Disney Afternoon related shows. And even some of the shows that we had not seen in a while because they were only broadcast for maybe 1 or 2 seasons on networks like CBS. And those were shows like Raw Toonage and Wuzzles. And again, that was like a safe haven for us. But just like Boomerang, it started to focus more, Toon Disney started to focus more on the more current shows, like Kim Possibles came on board, Teacher's Pet came on board, Lilo and Stitch came on board. Shows like that. And then they started to bring in the live action teenage Barbie doll kind of like shows, to quote the Nostalgia Critic from one of his reviews. We started seeing shows like Hannah Montana. We started seeing shows like the Jonas Brothers. We started seeing shows like like The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. We started seeing those shows popping on Toon Disney, and Toon Disney straying away from its original programming, its original promise of programming, until finally it ended up becoming Disney XD. Now, that's the one thing I will give Boomerang credit. They have not strayed away and become something else. They've stayed the same, although some of the shows are more 80s and 90s lately, if not more 90s and 2000s. You may disagree on that, but for some of you that have that have that channel without either on demand or by satellite or cable, you might agree. Now, but again, the question, as you see up there, is retro television coming back? Well, apparently, again, to me, it sounds like the people in charge of networks, of blocks like This TV and RTV, which is retro television, and The Hub, which is coming on 10/10/10. Apparently it sounds like they're listening to what people want. Because take a look at The Hub, for example. Yes, it's got a lot of programming. Yes, it's kept some programming from the Discovery Kids channel, like Turtlestein and Kenny the Shark and Meerkat Manor. But along with some of the newer shows they're bringing in, like shows from like Canada and all that, and Japan, along with some of the newer shows like that, as well as shows like Family Game Night and Picture, it seems to me they're bringing back some of the old Hasbro shows that we grew up on. Now originally I thought 3 of the main ones were going to be all shown together. You know, G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, as far as we know, is still being listed. Transformers, the original Transformers, is being listed. And originally I thought Gem was being listed as well, but apparently Gem right now isn't on the lineup as I speak, as I'm doing this video, but things might change. But, you know, those aren't the only things that seem to be making a comeback on the Hub station, on this Hub channel. You got shows like Family Ties, Doogie Howser, Wonder Years, all making a comeback on this channel. And you think to yourself, you know, this is amazing. We never thought we'd see these again. Well, guess what? You are seeing them again, because apparently someone at the Hub listened to what the fans wanted. And what the fans wanted, basically, was to go back old school. Yeah, have your lineup of new shows and everything, that's fine, but give us a lineup of shows that we know of, that we can enjoy. I mean, heck, according to some of the lists, you got the Batman series. And I don't know if that's the new Batman or Batman the Animated Series. You got Superman the Animated Series, it sounds like. You got Batman Beyond. Those shows that right now are part of like Disney XD are going on the Hub. Go figure. And probably more will be named down as time goes on. But think about it. Think about it. Someone at the Hub apparently was listening, is apparently one of those people that listened and understood that people want those shows that they enjoyed back in the 80s and 90s, 70s, and whatever. And the same could be said with This TV. Now, I know I've done a lot of videos on This TV, but take a look at their lineup from the past year or so. In the past year, they've had shows like The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, and probably some newer ones I've never heard of, and some other ones I've never heard of. But now look what they got this year. They got Heathcliff. They got The Wacky World of Tex Avery, if you like that show. They got the Pink Panther show, and I'm not talking about Pink Panther from the 60s and 70s. I'm talking Pink Panther from the 90s. What else? They got Sonic the Hedgehog, possibly Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Could be both, I don't know. Sonic Underground, twice in one day. You get what I'm saying, right? Inspector Gadget they got. Gadget Boys, Adventures of Gadget Boy in History, or whatever you want to call it. They got these kind of shows coming back. I mean, like I said, last year they had Wizard of Oz. They had, my guess is Mummies Alive they had. I mean, all these shows you have not seen in over a decade, if not more so, with the exception of maybe finally seeing them on DVD. This TV was bringing back, and that's what they're doing. I mean, look at the live action programming, late at night or in the evening. They got movies that normally people can't find. They got shows that people have not seen in decades, like Mr. Ed and Patty Duke. I mean, apparently someone there as well is listening to what adults and kids are saying, and what adults and kids are saying, people my age, kids that have heard about these great shows, seen them on YouTube, maybe in Daily Motion, they're listening and they're saying to themselves, wow, people really want these shows back, let's give it to them. And now take a look at a news station that I've discovered that apparently is coming in my direction real soon, and apparently I will get on channel 238 eventually, and that's called RTV on KBTV, which is RTV. And apparently, like I said, it's supposed to be coming to my station real soon, my area real soon. I don't know when, but apparently this station in the past year or so has had some retro programming, Saturday morning programming, and even though it was E/I programming, and now they're moving that to Monday and Fridays, and they're bringing all the other shows. I mean, from what I read, they got He-Man, She-Ra, Ghostbusters, and a few others that I can't remember just right now, coming back on television on Saturday mornings. Lassie, I don't know if it's Lassie the Animated Series or what, or Lassie's Rescue Rangers, I don't know. But they got all those shows coming back. And along with some of these shows that people want to see again, you got these movies that people have not seen in a while coming on television again. I mean, I remember about a month ago, so I turned on the television in the morning. I don't know if it was Saturday morning or Sunday morning, and I saw the Adventures of the American Rabbit on this TV. And I'm thinking, and what I was thinking was, I had not seen that on television in a while, and it was ironic that I was watching it because I had just read about it, or looked it up, I guess you could say, on the internet, and there it was. So again, the question is retro television coming back? And the answer is, apparently it is. And the answer is, apparently, as you see down there, apparently it is. Or I don't know what the answer is going to be down here, but I'll put something down here. But again, is retro television coming back? Yes, it is. Is the retro television shows, I should say, that's going to be the titles. That's going to be the title up there. Is retro television shows coming back? Apparently they are, because like I said, it sounds like to me, people at Hub, people at This TV, people at the RTV, they're all listening to what people of all ages, adults, kids, people that grew up on this, people that grew up in the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, they're listening to what people want, and people want that programming back on television because they know it's good programming, and you don't get that now. You don't get that now, nowadays. And I think that's what's going on. People in these three areas are listening. And you know what? That's what the people, and honestly, I don't like to say this about Disney because Disney's a great company, but that's what somebody at Disney Channel, at the Disney company, has to listen to. They want to make the money. You know where the money's at. Bring back all the old shows. Make a retro or classic Toon Disney Channel, or something like that, or Toon Disney Classics channel, I don't care, Retro Disney. Bring back the shows people grew up with, people enjoyed, people considered quality programming. I mean, can you imagine a Retro Disney channel or Disney Classics channel with shows like Mousicize, Dumbo's Circus, Welcome to Pooh Corner, all the shows from the Disney Afternoon era like Ruzzles and Gummy Bears and Rescue Rangers and Bonkers and Tailspin, and the list can just go on and on of properties that could be part of that. So the question is, will somebody at Disney finally see what's going on, realize that the money is not just with the newest stuff that they have, but the money is basically at bringing back the retroness, the old school, if you will. Will that happen? Will, as this question up here says, retro television shows come back? Courtesy of Disney and a new Disney Channel. I guess we'll find out in the future. But that's all I'm going to say for now. Tell me what you think. Do you agree that retro television shows are coming back? Or are back? Whatever the title is going to be up here, it's going to say retro something. In fact, I know what it's going to be. Are retro shows back on TV? And you'll get your answer down here, but again, tell me what you think in the comments down below. Because believe me, this is something that, it's ironic that it's been, the start of the 80s was 30 years ago, and the start of the 70s was 40 years ago, and now all this stuff's coming back. Makes you think, huh? Well, that's all I'm going to say. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll talk to you all later.